last year we were able to harvest about 15,000 pounds of fruit and get it to food shelves and stuff. We had over 100 homeowners who registered their trees, and then we had over 220 volunteers, people that offered to glean the fruit from the trees.
Yeah.
And I don't know, basically what we're doing is we're matching up homeowners. We're kind of clustering where their trees are that are when they're ready to harvest.
Yep.
And then we're taking gleaning volunteers to each of those homeowners and then harvesting the apples or the other fruit that they might have and then getting that to food shelves. So
okay. So like how do these homeowners find out about this? Just word of mouth?
A lot of it was word of mouth, and
Okay.
we were fortunate to get some press and get on some websites and stuff,
Okay.
and it just really picked up. We're working now to kind of actually, we want to develop neighborhood coordinators
Okay.
in different parts of the metro area,
Yeah.
so that we can then spread that word out and kind of make it more of a face-to-face contact with people that they know. And,
Yep.
and hopefully we'll get the word out that way as well.
Yeah.
We're going to look at working with, if it's parks and recreation groups, neighborhood groups, or if it's church groups,
Yep.
things like that. Any kind of a network that we can.
That you can just reach out further.
Right.
Yeah.
And actually, one of the biggest challenges a challenge that we're facing is that we were only able to get to about 70 to 75% of the trees that were registered because
wow.
we ran out of time.
Wow.
So that's one of the things we're working on is how do we grow into this, because there was such a great response to it.
Yeah.
So,
And then, so when you guys bring this stuff, you're bringing this to like food shelves and stuff like that. Do you keep track of are people using it? Or is it going to waste?
the feedback that we got back from the food shelves, we don't see that actually happen, but
Yeah.
we did do some follow up, and the feedback that we got is that apples are great because they have a longer shelf life.
Yep.
And people were really happy to get them. We got a few testimonials, of people. It's like, oh, I'm so pleased to have this. It's never been available. I went home and made all these apple pies and
Yeah.
stuff, which we're kind of promoting healthy food and
Yeah.
things like that. So now you convert it to an apple pie, and maybe it's not quite as healthy, but it's really good.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
and people are excited about fresh food.
Yeah.
And really, that's an important
It's a
thing to
starting
have that.
point. Yep.
And the other thing that really is a strength of the program is that we got the word out to a lot of folks, the volunteers and the homeowners, that access to fresh food is an important thing for people who don't always have access
Yep.
to fresh food and stuff. So needing to work and to overcome those barriers, and that's a real significant piece to it. So
Yeah, just opening up people's eyes to understand that not everyone has
Right.
that
Creating
ability.
awareness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Awareness. Yep.
so.
Yep. So have you noticed or experienced lately in the last couple of years any specific movement in the food?
There is a huge movement, and I just we tabled last weekend at the Community Gardens Resource Fair
Okay.
that was put on by Gardening Matters, and they overfilled the facility that they
Wow.
had with the interest in community gardening. And one of the things that I'm seeing is that there's a real issue with aggregating the demand for community garden space. I had a number of people come up to me and say, I've been trying to get into a community garden for 3 or 4 years, and I just can't get in because they're all filled up.
The waiting list
Yeah,
is
yeah.
years long. Yeah.
So, there's this big issue of how do you do that, and yet there doesn't seem to be a common point to aggregate that issue.
Mm-hmm.
And, we could fit part of that role. We could work with some other groups and stuff and fit part of that role.
Yeah.
But I think that's the type of work that needs to be done is how big is the potential here? How do we aggregate it? And then how do we find solutions for it? How do we develop space for it?